Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Institute's virtual open house. My name is Molly. I'm from the admissions department, and I'm here with Ketsia from our audio department. And we are very excited to show you guys more about our recording arts and show production program today. I know we had this planned for last week. I hope everyone fared well with the storm, but we are really looking forward to showing you around our campus and talking about our programs. As we get started and we let people trickle in, please do us a favor and tell us a little bit about you. We'd love to hear your name. If you could put in the chat your name, where you're tuning in from, and then tell us your favorite band or your favorite artist, your favorite album, a piece of music that inspires you. We would love to share that later on. Additionally, if you have any questions as we go through the tour, please add those in the chat so we can address them during our Q&A session towards the end. So again, take a moment, put in the chat your name, where you're tuning in from, and a band, an album, a music artist that inspires you. But I'm gonna give it over to Ketsia. And Ketsia, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Ketsia Gustav. I'm the program director for F.I.R.S.T. And I've been an educator for about 15 years now. And my role as program director is to make sure that our students are on track during their time in the program. So I check in on our students to make sure their grades are good, their attendance is good, and make sure that they are getting their internship hours and anything else that you guys need to feel supported as you go throughout the program.
Absolutely. Ketsia is in charge of a really amazing team of instructors. We're going to meet some of them today. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So we're going to head down this way. We're going to see a lot of spaces on campus today, but I always do love to highlight our courtyard. So this courtyard is a really great shared creative space. So you know, a lot of the time it's used for leisure during breaks, but you will see students working on projects all the time out here. When it comes to working in the field of audio, you're not always going to be in a studio. Sometimes you're going to be on a movie set out and about. So you need to learn how to record with those natural elements coming into play, you know, the background noise, the wind. So this whole campus is a space that you will be using. We are going to start, though, in one of our production labs. So you can kind of see where our program kicks off. So we're going to be saying hello to Francisco and one of his classes today, which I believe they are in the 101 class, right?
They are in 102, Music Theory. Yes.
Excellent. All righty, let's get started.
Hi, Francisco. Good. So we are here with our virtual open house, and we wanted to stop by. This is Francisco. He is our 101 and 102 instructor. What are you guys working on today?
Right now they're working on this music theory media lab where they're essentially composing a song from scratch using the following arrangement right there. And so they have to compose everything from the beat to the chords, to the melody, to the bass line. So really the fundamentals of how to, how to make a music production from the ground up.
That sounds amazing. And so can you tell us a little bit more about why this skill is important to have in the audio industry?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So even if a student isn't thinking of becoming a producer or becoming a composer in the future, this can be a great way to communicate with the people that engineer is essentially recording. So all this music terminology that we're learning here can be a good way to get to whatever the results that you're trying to get to quicker, and to again communicate through the language that all musicians speak so that can make the product the best that it can be.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. So as a 101 and 102 instructor, can you tell us a little bit about the DAWs that students learn to use while they're in your class?
Yeah, sure. So primarily we use Pro Tools that we use for mixing. We use it for editing. We use it to learn how to import audio. And then we also use Logic. That one we use for this music theory and music composition, just because it's very good for that. And it's one of the other industry standards. But the main DAW that we use is Pro Tools, since that is the industry standard. And it's just such a powerful tool.
That is awesome. So can you give our virtual open house guests a little bit of information on the projects that they will get to work on in this class?
Sure, absolutely. So in addition to the music theory labs and projects that we work on, we also have editing projects where they take a set of raw audio files and they edit it to, make a good product out of it. We also have multiple mixing projects where we organize, we color code, we employ all the editing strategies. We apply all sorts of audio processing like EQing, compression. And so essentially learning the fundamentals that they can then take to the other courses like the studio class. And they already know how to work with Pro Tools, so now they can focus on learning how to record in a studio setting. And in the mixing class, we, give them the fundamentals so that when they touch upon those more advanced topics, they already have a really strong foundation here.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Francisco, for giving us a little bit of a taste as to what our students can expect. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So as you guys can see, you start off in the production labs. That's where you're laying down the foundations, learning all the basics that you need to start using the more exciting gear and equipment. And so the next space that we're going to check out is currently in use. So we're going to have a lot going on. It's a little dark down here, but show production is a really cool space that our audio program gets to use. So right now, we currently have a guest speaker in here for our students, talking a little bit about, it's a local Orlando company, talking about some opportunities that they have for our students. Ketsia, tell us a little bit about the show production.
Yeah,
Sure. So this space is where all of our 108 students have class. And this class is pretty much the last class that they're going to have in the program. And it's a very important class because this is where students are going to most likely find their first job. So in this class, they learn how to do live sound. They learn how to run lights, how to program lights for a show, and to make sure that, the sound is properly prepared for the artist. And so one of the projects that they get to do in 108 is finding a band or an artist to come and perform and to plan and run live sound for that event.
Yeah. And hey guys, this is Eddie. I'm actually one of the instructors here also for 108. But what's really cool is that, as you can see, there's lighting systems up on the trusses. So students get to learn how those are all set up, along with the movers, how to basically put songs in synchronization with the lighting. Some of the gear that you're also going to be working on in this room is a Behringer X32. You did see us pan over to that right in the front of house and on the back of house, which is right next to the stage. And what's really important is not only does it sound good for the audience, but it also sounds good for the bands on stage. Right now, you just have two people kind of talking into a mic. But if there was a full band, we're talking drummer, bassist, guitarist, and a vocalist, they would usually have either in-ear monitors or monitors on the stage pointing to them, letting them hear what the fans are hearing. So you're going to get trained on how to basically make it sound good for both the people on stage and the people listening into the show. Yeah.
So we've seen show production, so we see what happens during the live shows. But another really cool thing that our students get to do is they learn how to broadcast. So this is the control room. This is where our audio students and our filmmaking students will come together and learn how to put on live broadcasts. So while we definitely like to focus on musical performances, this will prepare you for any sort of live scenario. If you're working in sports broadcasting, news broadcasting, and I believe right now, are we streaming this to our ideal students?
Yeah, this is actually being streamed to our YouTube. And actually, if you want to pan right over here, this is where we'd have our audio engineer set up. And then they basically make sure that not only does it sound good on stage, sound good to the audience, but also sound good to anybody tuning in. So if you were actually tuning into this right now, you'd hear it at the best quality possible. So you're definitely going to get a lot of different things going on when it comes to the live show aspect of this whole thing.
All right, we're gonna head down around this way to where we have our online classes. All right, I did want to take a moment and do a little shout out to the people that are tuning in right now. I see that we have Tamisha, we have Taylor Porsche, we have John tuning in, Joel, we also have Alan, Alfonso, Victoria. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. No one put in where they're from, but that's okay. We love having an audience. And we've, seen some cool spaces on campus so far. We are going to see some more as well, but we did want to take a moment and, oh wait, no, hold on. There's more people in here too. I see there's Joyce, and then also Paige here. So thank you guys for tuning in. We've seen some really cool spaces on campus, but if you're not able to come to our campus here in Orlando, we do have our online classes as well, which are an amazing experience. So we call our online classes interactive distance learning, IDL, because this is not your typical online class. It is a live class session. So you are face-to-face with your instructors, you're collaborating with your classmates, plus you're going to have a equipment kit, your creative pack that is sent to you. So you have all the gear you need to work from home. So it is just about as similar to the campus experience as we can make it. Our online program is only available in certain states, so it's important that you speak with one of our admissions representatives to make sure that you qualify where you are located. But we're actually going to take a peek right now into one of our classrooms so you guys can see what it's like. We're going to say hello to Miguel.
All right. So here we have Miguel, who is our IDL instructor for RASP 101 to 104. So he would be your instructor for the first half of the program. So Miguel, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are working on right now?
Well, yeah. Currently we're working on the music theory project, which is where they get to use this MIDI controller that you see here. We provide this in the Create Pack. We're a great tool to start creating music. We go over the basics of music theory. We take care of all the instruments, all the sounds, the software that needs to be used for students to make it happen.
That is awesome, Miguel. And can you tell us, I know you talked about that MIDI controller. Can you tell us some other ways that we make the IDL experience hands-on for students?
Yeah, we also provide what we call the Create Pack, where we provide audio interfaces, MIDI controllers, analog mixers, microphones, speaker monitors, field recorders for them to do their projects.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Miguel. And one more question. As IDL students, how do our online students get extra support after class?
After class?
Yes, like let's say somebody has a question about something that they didn't understand in class. What can they expect in terms of support?
Yeah, right after class, we're available here just to do like a one-on-one calls. We use Teams to, if I need to see what's going on your end, I can see it. I can help you troubleshoot stuff. I can help students, go over and fill the gaps of stuff that was needed to fill in class.
Thank you so much, Miguel.
Sure. Like I said, if you guys want to learn more about our online experience, then please keep an eye on your email, because after this virtual open house, we will be sending out a place where you can talk to one of our admissions representatives. But we're not done yet. We still got a couple cool studios to look at here. So our next stop here is going to be Studio A Lab. So before we get to go into the really cool studios, we're going to check out the lab, which is where you learn some more fundamentals. So let's see what we got going on right now.
All right. So we are entering our mixing and mastering class, which is very important in the program. A lot of our students come to this program specifically to learn these skills. So we're going to talk to our instructor, Chris, here. Chris, can you tell us what you guys are working on today?
Today I brought in a session I recorded a while ago from Mark Anthony.
Nice.
And I'm having all the students pick an instrument, whether it be drums, guitar, bass, vocals, piano. And then we're going to combine them all into one song. So we're using everyone's different mixes in a way to make one song out of it all, like they would do on teams.
That's amazing. And I know that Pro Tools is one of the DAWs that our students learn early on in the program. What are some other DAWs that they learn about while they're in your class?
In this class, we also have Studio One up here. We'll be using for mastering. Right there. Yeah, if we use Studio One for mastering, here's the actual song of Mark Anthony that I made. And we'll use this to kind of A/B everyone's masters after that. Other than that, we also use Rex a lot. Clean up anything. Here, I see there's some whistling going on here, so we're probably taking that out. Clean it up a little bit.
Awesome. So mixing and mastering involves two more DAWs, Studio One and RX for audio restoration. What are some other mixing projects that they get to work on while they're in your class?
So we do a ton of mixing in here. The three main focuses that we do are the ones that they do over in the studio, which will be the solo artist, the class project where they record themselves, and the outside band that we bring in for them to mix. So they'll mix all of that and then they master all of it, and that goes on their demo reel.
That's amazing. So just to kind of summarize that a little bit for you guys, in 101 and 102, you guys will get to learn the fundamentals of Pro Tools and Logic for music composition. And then in 103 and 104, you get to learn how to record and edit songs in the studio. And then in 105, you will take those same songs and mix and master them for your portfolio. So we are actually going to go into the studio. We're going to learn how to do the recording and editing right now.
Yes, I am sure this is probably the most anticipated room for our students to see. We got some students working in there right now, so let's go check it out.
All right, so this is our instructor for 103, 104, recording arts, Lewis. Hey, Lewis, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing today?
Sure. Actually, the class is in the process of working on the artist development project. They've been in here for about 8 weeks at this point. They've went out, they've scouted, they found their own band. Really cool arrangement. They're tracking drums, guitars, accordion. They're tracking a concert bell as well. We're doing vocals. So like they're really having lots of options and being real creative in here.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of things they need to know as far as artist development?
So a lot of it has to do with going to, we talk about in the class of where, you know, if you go catch a fish, you go to a body of water. So to go find an artist, you go where an artist is. So a lot of times we'll go out and we'll meet bands and we make the pitches to see if they'd be willing to come 3 days in the studio and make a song from start to finish. And that's basically what the ADP entails for the most part.
That's amazing. And so as you can see, our students are actually working on this recording session right now with the artists that you see in the booth. Lewis, can you tell us a little bit more about all the gear in this room?
Sure. So in this room, we have what's known, the console right here is the SSL Origin, which you can find actually in some studios out here in Orlando. One of them is Stark Lake that has the same exact console. But the way we kind of teach the curriculum is in a way that's interchangeable with just about any studio you go to.
Nice.
We give them the idea of how signal flows and how sound travels from start to finish in the studio. And within about 3 weeks, this class you can see right in front of you, they've been doing this since week 3. So a lot of talent in the room. These guys have taken it to the next level in terms of curriculum. So very happy with what I'm seeing. But yeah, it's just basically set up in a way where we don't only teach you what we have, but that being said, the gear we have is very common.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of universities you'll encounter will probably have consoles that are maybe $750,000 and stuff you may not typically see in the studio. Mm-hmm. The stuff we have in here is very common, like the SSL Origin. You have the Avalon. We have a Tube Tech. We have some really cool pre's, the 1073s. We have the API 512s. We have a bunch of mic selections. We have the TLM 103. We have the AKG 414s and just lots of cool stuff to play with in the studio.
That's amazing. So what are some other projects that students get to work on while they're in your class?
So one of the things they get to do is they have 4 days prior to this session where they actually get to make a song from start to finish. Wow. So they all communicate, and from day 1, they create from nothing. And day 4, it's always where the magic happens, where everything's finally come together. And this class is a good example of that. And then the other project that comes up next is the solo artists, where they pick a solo artist to practice recording vocals, because that's one of the more common parts once you get in the industry, is you'll be doing vocals a lot. And then the artist development is where we go out, find the band. They've already practiced amongst themselves for 4 days, so they have the experience now to approach a professional band at that point. And they really picked a very good band on this demonstration. So we're really, really getting to experiment with some cool sounds and cool techniques.
Thank you, Lewis.
All right, Lewis, thank you so much for the info, and thank you guys for letting us barge in. Keep up the good work. All right, so Studio A is where we do all of our music recording, but there's actually a lot more to our audio program than just music. We're going to be hopping over here to Studio B Lab, which focuses on sound for visual media. So think about sound for movies, television, even video games. We're going to check in on what our students and our instructors are doing in this class.
All right, so we are here with Josh, who is our instructor for 106 and 107. Josh, what are you guys working on today?
We're recording Foley right now for a short film. We're just adding some sound effects, some clothing passes of guys sitting down on a couch and getting up off the couch. In this class, I teach location sound and sound for film, which location sound, you go out and record the sounds for a movie on location. It's going to be an uncontrolled environment, so you really have to adapt yourself to whatever you're recording. And then sometimes you can't really capture things on set because of the nature of the way certain things are filmed. So we'll come back to the studio and we will replace whatever sounds we can't get on set. And then we mix it. This studio is set up in 7.1.4 surround sound mixing. So we get to mix it in full immersive Atmos.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And so what are some other projects that you guys get to work on using these pieces of gear?
So one of the projects that we do to help as a teaching tool is we'll take an existing clip from a film that has some kind of an action sequence, something with car chases or robot fights or helicopter flyovers, something we don't really have the budget to film ourselves. But it allows us to create large soundscapes and really complicated immersive sound effects and whatnot for buildings blowing up and gunfire and all the fun things that really help you use the immersive room that we're in. Like helicopter flyovers sound really good when you're in this room.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Foley booth?
So the Foley booth is a room full of various objects, and we have a pit there with different materials to walk on for recording sound effects, and really whatever you can get in the room. She has a pile of cloth right now that she's getting for the clothing sound of the guy sitting down on the couch and whatnot. But we have metal objects and wooden objects and rocks and stuff that we can whatever we need for whatever scene we happen to be doing. You never know what it's going to need until you watch it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, can you give us an example of a sound that you guys are able to create in here that people might not expect you're able to do with this material?
So a common one that it gets replaced all the time is sword fights in movies. Because I don't know, most people have never been in a sword fight, so they assume that what they hear in Hollywood is what it sounds like, but oftentimes the swords don't ring nearly as much as you think that they should. So I've used a railroad tie and a serving spoon before, because the railroad tie is something heavy metallic that I can bang the spoon against, and the spoon has a nice ring to it, and I can use that to create the sound effects of a sword fight without actually having any swords.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Josh.
No problem.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everyone. So this class is definitely one where you spend time in the studio, but you're also going to be out and about recording sounds in the real world. Think about all the sound that's done on a movie set, or all that post-production. Now, I wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about housing. So if you are looking to make that transition to the Orlando area to attend school with us, we have lots of resources to help you with housing. Our housing partner named EduRent, and they are a great resource for students looking to come to Orlando. They offer what is called shared housing. It is a dorm style living option. So you're able to live with other students. It's a flat rate every month, and it comes fully furnished for you. It's very close to the school. So not only is it going to be one of the easiest, but also one of the most affordable options that we have. I did want to take a moment and highlight the pad over here. This is our student lounge area. So students will hang out here In between classes, during their breaks, students will work on projects a lot in these rooms as well, practice with cameras, play around with lighting, or even use it for one of their scenes. So this is just another space that you will get to experience. But I did want to come down here and highlight a little bit more of what is included in our creative pack. The creative pack is included in your tuition, whether you do the campus or the online program. It gives you all the tools you need to work from home and also to launch your career after you graduate. So, Ketsia, there's a couple things in here we didn't get to see in the IDL room. So what else do we have?
So we have NDM monitors for our students to use, along with their own mixer, their own audio interface. As you can see here, we have condenser microphone, a pop filter. We also include a lav mic. And then we also make sure that we include an SD card for our field recorders. And then we have an SM57 microphone, another filter, and of course, headphones. So our students have everything they need. One thing I did leave out, we most recently added microphone stands to our creative packs. So you are going to get everything in this display case plus a microphone stand. So you have everything you need to work from home, like Molly said, and to ensure that the work you provide is of high quality.
Absolutely. And we are going to be starting our Q&A session. So if you have any questions you want to throw in, please put those in there now. I did see someone had a question about the creative pack, asking, when do we get the creative? Excellent question. So you are going to receive your creative pack in multiple shipments. We send you your items when you need it. So you'll have every item in your pack by the halfway point in your program. We do often update the items in the creative pack to reflect industry trends and to best suit the needs of the projects that you'll be doing. So to see an up-to-date list of what is included in the creative packs, you can go to our website and look at the Recording Arts and Show Production Program page. I do see a question here about the online experience. So it says the online experience looks cool, but how do we interact with instructors? How do the labs work?
Yeah, so like we saw when we went into the IDL room, our online students interact with the instructor via video. So all of the calls are recorded. So even if you have to miss a day of class, you will have access to the class recording. The instructor is available after class hours to answer any questions that you have. And so a lot of times those are conducted via one-to-one video calls on Teams. So we make sure that our online students have an amazing experience, that they have all the support they need. In addition, while your instructor is lecturing or while you're working on a project at home, we also have a teaching assistant who is available to answer any questions you have. So if your instructor is lecturing, for example, and maybe there's something from a previous class that you forgot how to do, the teacher assistant is there to assist you on the side via a Teams call as well.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that our students feel supported and have the help that they need to get everything done. And speaking of that, I see that we have a couple questions about career services. So a little overview on career services. They're here to help you get employed after graduation. So career development is built into your curriculum throughout your program. So you're going to be learning best practices with job searches, how to tweak your resume, interviewing practices, all those things that you need to be successful. So towards the end of your program, you'll get the opportunity to do one-on-one career planning sessions with your career advisor. As an accredited school, our goal is to help you find employment within 6 months of graduation. So once you graduate, our career services team will be following up with you, helping you prepare for interviews that are coming up, job search strategies, making sure that you are looking in the right places. and following up, making sure that you are following all of those best practices. So something that's really important with our career services here is that it never expires. So while our goal is to get you employed within 6 months of graduation, you can always come back to First Institute for assistance. So years down the line, you want to get your resume looked at. That is exactly what we're here for, to help all of our alumni. I do see a little bit more, some questions about the portfolio. So can you tell us a little bit about portfolio development?
Sure. So we get you started working on your portfolio from the very first class. So every major project in the classes that you go through is going to go into your portfolio. So if you guys remember, Lewis mentioned that the class is going to create a song from scratch and mix and master it in 105. So that is an example of something that we do to make sure that by the time you finish, your portfolio is ready with professional level work. In addition to that, we also have career services, like Molly explained, come in and look over your resume. They look over your portfolio and make sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to date. Those are all things that we make sure that our students have by the time they finish 108.
About how many projects do our students get to put in their portfolio?
It is about 8 items in there altogether. So about 1 per class.
And it's really important to learn how to set up your portfolio, because that's something you're going to be updating throughout your entire career with your new projects and your new experiences. Ketsia, can you give us a quick overview again on the DAWs that students learn while they're here?
Yes. So the first one that our students are going to learn is called Pro Tools. Again, it is the industry standard. A lot of times our students come in having used other DAWs like FL Studio, but the one that we teach here on campus is Pro Tools. And then during our music composition class, we also heavily get into Logic. We learn how to compose music in Logic. And then in 105, you are introduced to 2 more DAWs. Studio One, which is used to master audio files according to industry standards. And then we have another one called RX, which is what we use for audio restoration to remove unwanted sounds from your sound files. So we have in total about 4 DAWs that we introduce our students to during their time here. So yeah.
Excellent. Now, I love this question whenever it comes in. So if I just want to learn studio work, why is it important for me to learn all the other stuff?
So what's important, why it's important is because a lot of times as an entry-level employee, a lot of times you are going to get gigs or roles in live show production, or doing something else related to the audio industry. So it's very important that we are able to equip our students for all the different roles that they're likely to encounter. So even though you only want to do studio work, it may take some time for you to find that perfect dream job that you want. So we want to make sure that you're prepared with other skills that'll allow you to pay those bills in the meantime, and also connect you with people in the audio industry that can help provide you with other opportunities.
Absolutely. And I also say that exposure is so important. There's so many projects, so many roles in the audio industry that you might not know about when you're coming in. So we want to show those to you and see, so you can see what you like and what you're good at. We had, for example, we had a photography student who very strictly only wanted to learn about nature photography and landscape photography. After graduating, he ended up opening a studio of his own. So you never know what you're going to be good at, and what you're going to like, and what opportunities will be out there for you. Our job is to prepare you for all of those. Ketsia, are we able to use the studios outside of class?
100% yes. Our students are able to book the studio outside of class time. We just want to make sure that you're actually prepared for it. So students are eligible to book the studio once they have completed that studio class, which is 103. After that, you are free to book the studio as often as you want.
Now, I know Lewis touched on this briefly, but when it comes to getting artists for our recording projects, do instructors give us best practices?
Yes, absolutely. So your instructors are all industry professionals who are currently out there working. And so they have connections. They know, what skills are in demand. They know where to find artists. So your instructors are never going to, tell you to do a project and kind of leave you to it. They are there every step of the way to provide guidance.
Excellent. And then this last question here. Oh, how long is the program? Great question. So our program is it's a 10-month program. You complete it over the course of 39 weeks. And that leads into the next question, which is when does the next class start? So our next class is going to be starting on October 21st. That is right around the corner. We have about 3 weeks until the classes start, but there is still time to apply. So if you're interested in enrolling in our October start date or one of our future start dates, you can always go to our website, F.I.R.S.T.edu, and submit an application, but you'll definitely want to talk with one of our admissions representatives. So you can either request information on our website or keep an eye out for the email that we will be sending out after this tour so you can request information and speak with an admissions representative one-on-one. They'll show you more details about the program, walk through the application process, and provide you with the support that you need to start successfully. It has been a pleasure showing you guys around the school today. If you have any other questions, feel free to email those to us and we will get back to you. But again, we have that class starting on October 21st and we would love to see you there. So keep an eye on your email so that you can talk with one of our admissions representatives after class. It's been wonderful showing you guys around and we hope to see you in class soon. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.